What's going on, guys? Crypto Chris back with another cryptocurrency update video. In this video, I'm going to be trying to answer the question on everybody's lips at the moment is, where is BTC going now? Are we recovering? Are we going lower? Are we going to be heading up back to 29k? Is this a dead cat bounce, or are we actually going to have a move to the upside? Also, I'm going to be covering two altcoins that I currently have my eye on that potentially could be breaking higher. I'm also going to be covering that in this video. But before I begin this video, just want to bring your attention to my Telegram group. For those that want to follow all my trades, setups, etc. and everything in real time, go give me a follow on my Telegram. The link will be in the description. Also, don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, or even consider subscribing. So, jumping in this video. So again, I'm going to cover up price action since we hit this high at 30k. Again, we all know we did hit that 69k, and since then we have been pretty much in a solid downtrend. So again, there's no disguising the fact, again zooming out on the weekly, that after hitting 69k we're just in a huge downtrend, which is constructed of lower lows and lower highs. Again, very indicative of a bear market. Quite the opposite to what we had after we had that March low, where price was continuously making higher highs and higher lows, again, which is indicative of a bear market. So for this example, I'm going to refer back to the Bitstamp chart, as we do have the most data on this chart. And simply all I'm going to do is add a simple moving average, but it seems to me that everybody is currently watching this moving average for some type of validation that if the bottom is in, I'm going to give my opinion on this. So again, if we have a look, all I'm going to put on is the 200 length moving average on the weekly time frame. And going back time historically with BTC, we can see that this moving average has acted as support and pretty much has called each bottom time and time again. So in my opinion, something to be aware of, if this, I've been asked this question, is this the bottom? Are we now look to go to the upside? But we can see actually how price has been interacting with this level. Again, we fell back below this moving average on the 13th of June. Consolidated below, we had a retest, got rejected on the 18th of July on that week. And again, last week we actually had our first close, and we can see how this was back tested and is now acting as support. So again, it's something to be aware of, that we could get to this type of scenario where we actually do have a run. So again, this is the bottom for now. We do get some type of run here, hit the bottom, have a run, but eventually we do come back down, but we do not break this low that was created back in June. So again, potential scenario having on, but again, there's no hiding the fact that despite this is a good sign for BTC, that we are still in a huge downtrend. Another thing to be also aware of, that this type of moving average is what mostly so-called retail traders will be looking at. The average person on Twitter will be looking at this as the confirmation that actually we're moving higher. But if you're well in this market, you see this as an opportunity. So you see everybody getting very excited, long in here, to eventually just be used as some type of liquidity pattern, if you like, to eventually come back down. But again, what we need to be aware of is this market structure, as I mentioned. So we do have this series. So we do have this high here. Then we have this lower high point in here, another lower high here, and another lower high here again. And this is formed of a series of lower lows. So again, for me, if we do see this hold, and we do see this previous lower high become to new support, again, this would be an encouraging sign that potentially we are getting a change in market structure. We've had the bottom test of the 200 weekly moving average, and again, we could be moving a lot higher. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to zoom in to the smaller time frames again, and just give my opinion on what's currently happening with BTC USDT. So again, we can also identify on the daily time frame that price is in fact in bullish market structure. What I mean by this, I mean we had the low point at around 17k, we made a new high, we formed a new higher low, and we done a new high, and then we came back down again, higher low, high. So again, we can assume that on the daily time frame we're actually in a bullish market structure. Also, this move down that we saw after breaking this level of support at 28k again was pretty swift. Again, this type of moves, it leaves a lot of imbalances or inefficiencies and single prints within this region here. And I like to also call this zone as unfinished business, as this was a whole imbalance on this whole move down. Again, we can see this level here has been partially filled. And what I want to check if this did come up to the 50% of this candle here. So again, this is something indicative of price filling half the price of this whole move down here of inefficiency. So again, yes, it did. So we did see half this candle of imbalance come up here and fill at the 0.5 or the half point of this candle. So again, that just shows you half of this imbalance has been filled. However, we do have this candle here again that has not been filled yet. So to me, the most significant level of resistance would be this whole level of support that we saw at around 28k, as this is where price consolidated before that we saw that swift move back down. Also, we have a lot of volume built up within this range again, which could act as resistance. We do have naked point of controls. We have weekly levels of resistance. Again, the list goes on that why this whole region here between 28k and 31k could act as resistance. Also, if we pull a fixed range volume of this prior range, we do have the value area low coming in at 28k, point of control at 30k, and the value area at 31k. If price can reclaim all this as support and break above these previous highs or this previous low high that was created, again, that will kind of give me more confirmation that actually, yes, on the higher time frame, market structure is bullish, and then the sensible option will now begin to look for longs, as we can clearly see that the bulls or the buyers are clearly in charge of this price action. Also, going back to some current price action, looking on the order flow on XO charts, we do have this bearish CVD forming. So again, if we go back to here on the 31st of July to current price action, we are forming a clear lower high while the CVD is moving higher and higher. So again, this potentially shows that we do have some limit orders set by bigger whales here, potentially absorbing all these buys coming into the market. So again, something to pay attention to while price is moving up. We do have this bearish CVD divergence. Again, what we like to see is actually price break above this previous high here at 24k. Again, this will invalidate this bearish CVD, but for now, this is something to keep in mind while we are beginning to move higher. So next up, I told you I'm going to talk about two altcoins. First of them is BNB BTC. So again, this is the Binance coin against BTC. So again, a lot of people would be looking at the USDT pair, but we can see if we do zoom out on the weekly that despite BNB on the against USD is at weekly, monthly or 3-month lows, we can see against BTC we're actually beginning to make new all-time highs. So again, we do have this level of resistance here, where currently it is old resistance is now being flipped into support. Again, we can see higher there is no resistance, so again we could enter some type of price discovery mode. And we also do have this huge ascending triangle, which again is inherently a bullish pattern. So again, this is formed of a flat line of resistance and each low going higher and higher. Again, this is indicating that every time we're coming back down to this level of support, buyers are stepping in, and we are actually breaking to new all-time highs against BTC. So again, if we do see BNB against BTC move higher, potentially this is going to be a sign that it's going to see a follow through against USD. Again, in regards to finding potential targets, again, it's hard to determine against BTC as we are going to be in price discovery mode. Again, what I like to see is the weekly to close above this previous weekly level of resistance that we have here. So again, if we do see a weekly close above, again, this will be bullish for BNB BTC. But again, we will also want to be looking at what the USD pair is doing. So we can see here that we're miles away from the all-time high against USD pair against USDT. But again, we are seeing, whilst the BNB BTC pair is moving bullish, we did actually find support, and we actually seen a good reaction here after this hitting this bottom level of previous demand. Again, this was a previous demand level. Again, another bounce here. We saw price front run this level, and again we've got another bounce, and we're seeing a healthy move to the upside. And again, just looking at this chart, very similar to most markets. Since that move from April, it's pretty much been a huge downtrend. Again, not much support created on the way down compared to where we did actually have support here again, which eventually flipped into resistance. But again, we can see on this move down, there wasn't much support form, which again could mean that we do get a swift move up. In this instance, I like to look at potential a Fibonacci level. So again, if I pull from here to here, again, this is the using the 0.5 model. So going back 1, 0.75, 0.5, 0.25. Again, we can see how these have been quite accurate in, again, finding support at 0.25. Again, at the 5, also aligning with a level of previous resistance. Again, my potential target will be $323. Next, we're looking at 392, and then potentially we could see a retracement back to this previous high. But if I do get a fourth Fibonacci level, again, we can see the 618 again coming at this previous level of support. So again, we do have some type of confluence coming in at this level here. So again, currently see at the 382 where we did get that rejection. Again, this was like previous support, flip resistance on the 382. Again, at a break above this, again, we could possibly look to fill this gap here, coming up to the $355 level. So again, something to pay attention to, especially as we are moving bullish on the BTC pair. Next, we have APE USDT. So again, there was a recent announcement that Gucci are now accepting APE coin as a method of payment. Again, it gives it some validity, some use case. And again, we can see since putting that in the bottom in June, that price has been moving quite well. In consideration, we are carry on to move high, low, and a new high. So again, we can pretty much say that price on the daily time frame is in a bullish market structure. Although similar to BTC, we can see that price is again in a huge downtrend. Again, for me, anything coming up back up to this level of previous cluster of candles, again, anything between here would be significant resistance, because anything above that level, again, quick move down should equal to a quick move up. Again, this was previous resistance. Again, we can assume that if we do get that break, so again, we can see we did have this daily level put in here, and again, it is still acting as resistance. What I'd like to see happen is this level at $7.17. Again, if we do see a clear breakout, all this resistance flips into support. Again, I believe this could take us into a new range formed between 7.16 and all the way up to this previous cluster of resistance, all the way up to $8.94. So again, we can potentially enter a new trading range. Again, the break above this flips into support. Again, I'm expecting to even go as high as back up to $15, just on the basis of the fact that this was a quick move down. Again, equates to a big quick move up. So I'm going to wrap up this video here. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me a follow on my free Telegram. All the links are in the description. And I'll see you on the next video. Crypto Chris over and out.